It's truly okay to forget what you read as early as yesterday. If you ever felt bad about this, trust me, you're not alone. Back in college, I wanted to be an intellectual. So I gathered about 20 to 30 nonfiction books and read them first thing in the morning before my schoolwork. But as I moved from one book to another, I noticed something very frustrating. By the time that I was on book 8, I could only recall the key ideas from the first few. I discovered that I have forgotten a lot of what I read and only remembered its gist. And even within one book, I would finish the last chapter and realize I only remembered the gist of the earlier ones, except for those ideas that the author kept bringing up throughout the book. So I felt dumb and I thought that how can I dream of being an intellectual if I couldn't even remember what I read? So I gave up and returned to binge on YouTube, watching smarter people talk about smarter stuff, and I wish that I was one of them. But years later, I learned something that changed everything for me. Forgetting at this rate is not a flaw, but a fact of nature. It is the mind's nature to forget as early as a couple of hours. It is normal to forget half of what you read yesterday. So, say you learned 10 new topics yesterday, and you may remember the basic essence of perhaps 8 of them, and perhaps have forgotten most of the details. I would imagine that those with the higher IQs retain a bit more than the average, but the principle is true nonetheless. The mind is wired to forget information unless we actively work to retain it. This concept is called forgetting curve, and it's been known for a century. Our mind is like a pocket with a hole in it, if you will. As you add in new coins, some of them fall out. Your job is not just to add new coins, but to catch the ones falling out and put them back in. That is to say that you don't just learn new information, you revisit and maintain what you've already learned. It is like owning a car. It's not enough to get a new one. You have to maintain it to keep it running. The same is true for self esteem. You increase your confidence in self esteem by setting difficult goals and achieving them. But after your achievement, if you were to pass away months without aiming or achieving anything new, your self esteem would decrease. Every value in our lives, from our car to your memory to your self esteem, has to be gained and maintained. Now, that is one philosophical concept that I learned in one of those 20, 30 books I said that I read. But here's the good news: unlike the cars, memory needs less and less maintenance as the time progresses. And forgetting shouldn't hurt your pride as it certainly hurt mine. Only once I accepted it as a reality could I spend time finding ways to handle it. I made a video detailing humanity's best methods to retain what you've learned, and I put a link to it in the description. It is okay to forget because it is natural to forget. What is not okay is to do nothing about it despite knowing this fact. So, what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. And this channel is so small that you may never find me again. So, consider subscribing.